Hey guys, welcome back to 1000 Lies. If you hear coughing in the background, that is my mom. Or if you hear anything in the background, that's my mom. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. But without any further ado, let's get right back into the game. What other reaction could we expect from our little prank? Right. The three of us end up in the principal's office. Oof. 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 It's now recess at Dujain Institute. We don't get recess here at my school. It's called lunch. Aussie and I go for a walk outside of the school grounds, wandering with no particular destination in mind through the street that serves as the heart of our small town. It has become our routine. It's not even that big in the first place, but we live in a modest European town whose inhabitants thrive off a rich history and modern day political lies. I've lived here my entire life, and the only positive quality I can think of is the fresh, unpolluted air. In other words, it's really boring here. Although it's still better to die of boredom than to try to deal with those little brats back at the school. Damn, I never expected for it to end so badly. I didn't think it was a big deal. Even though we're pranking everyone more often than before, we haven't done anything too terrible. I guess that's just the risk we took with doing it to a new teacher. Some people take life too seriously. She let someone kill herself. The comedian standing next to me is Aussie Aldwine. Aldwine? I don't know how to say Aldwine. What? I feel like I keep forgetting the name of the cartoon character. It's the hunter guy from Bugs Bunny. It's wabbit season. We're hunting wabbits. Aldwine. Ugh. Ealdwine? Is it Ealdwine? I don't know. He's a perverted, narcissistic guy who can't decide whether he loves women or his own reflection more. He calls himself a lady killer, and I can confirm that it's true, in a literal sense, from shock and terror, usually. Well, to be honest, I know he has a reputation as a womanizer around the school, but from what I've seen, I'm skeptical. He has stuck to me like a parasite ever since I transferred to this school a few years ago. Since then, just like with our little play, we've wasted our time pulling pranks and being dumbasses together. I'm just faking it, but he really has a natural talent for it. Because of our infamous endeavors, no one can take us seriously. That's why we're known as class clowns above all else. In all the years we've been studying here, we've never gotten into any major trouble, just sometimes getting lectured or complained at. The fact that Aussie, although it may seem impossible, has the highest grade in his class probably has something to do with it. And I'm just a pretty face, I guess. I'm a lucky guy who knows how to escape before the smoke sets off the alarm. But it seems we've scared the new teacher a little too much, especially by pretending she might have an immoral relationship with a student. But what else should we have expected from an age that places precedence on political correctness? Real issues are shrugged off while everyone is off living in their own bubbles, dreading that someone may try to pop it. That is very true. Basically, right now they're discussing where they should where they should chop our heads off and which weapon to use, axe or guillotine. I don't regret it though, it wasn't really that bad. They're just too sensitive. Hey, are you listening to me? No, I'm monologuing on the inside. Are you doodling again? Every time I get distracted, you always have your nose in that notebook. It's impressive how long it can take for Aussie to notice his surroundings. Since we left, well, he keeps his eyes shut all the time. Since we left, I've been writing in the small pocket-sized notebook that I always keep with me. And no, I wasn't listening to him. I don't consider it healthy to pay attention to him anyways. I've asked you a couple of times already. Are you gonna show me what you're writing eventually or not? We've been friends for like 6 years? Still, you never let me see it. I puff and close the notebook with my thumb and index finger. It's a question that I should expect by now, seeing as this fixation of mine usually catches everyone's attention at some point. No, it's not weird to write entries in a diary or to jot down ideas, neither of which was what I was doing. It's only because I do it so often that it's even noteworthy. What am I writing? No, Aussie, your question is incorrect, seeing as I'm not the one who's writing anything. It's my hand. It moves itself. It's my hand. It moves by itself. Every time I have the premonition of a catastrophe, my fingers themselves scribe a future into this notebook. I've been keeping it a secret because this power, if put in the wrong hands, could be used for evil. Catastrophe? Wait a second, are you shitting me? Catastrophe? How? Am I in danger? My friend's verbosity suddenly accelerates within a second. Meanwhile, I open the notebook and read what I had just written, then turn my gaze away and bite my lip. Wait, am I serious? Oh my god. This isn't a prank. Hey. I don't like that face. What did you just read? I hope it's not something harmful to me. Oh. I guess it's not a prank? I don't know if it's a prank or not. At that very moment, I shiver. It was as if lightning had struck me. With no control over my body, I write a short sentence on a new page and then rip it out as a premonition finishes. Oh, okay, now you're really freaking me out. What did you write? I can't tell you. Hand it over! Aussie snatches a crumpled sheet of paper away from me. Finally, while trying to keep a composure that he clearly lacks, he reads its contents. The time is quickly approaching. Something worse than death will hunt you down. Oh, I thought it was a prank. God damn it. I played myself. Ah! Oh, I guess it was a prank. I don't know if it's a prank or not. I only touched your shoulder. Why'd you jump? Hello, my favorite guys. I've got good news. What kind of premonition is that? I forgot the name. Hold on, give me a second. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting how to pronounce the freaking names. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to suffer. Okay. What kind of premonition is this? Is this sheer? Right? Sheer. Yeah, sheer. Sorry about that. I had to look it up. I'm sorry. Well, I wrote about something worse than death, and then Ziva came along. I think it hit me. I think I hit the mark. What are you talking about? And why do I get the feeling that it isn't good? Let's not get into the details. Sheer was writing in his notebook again, and I wanted to know what it was since he never tells us. Ziva moves her gaze from Aussie to me, blinding me with a sparkle shimmering in her eyes so brightly that it resembles a lighthouse. But her eyes are closed.
Oh! So Endin was compulsively writing in his notebook again? Can I see what you wrote too, eh? Can I?
She tries to steal my pocket-sized notebook by jumping on me, but since I'm used to her trying this kind of thing, I manage to evade her in time and hide it away in my back pocket. Hands off, Sigmund Freud!
Geez, so unfair.
If you won't show it to me, then your treatment will never progress. And don't be deceived by her charm and appeal. Ziva Shani is one of the most dangerous species in the entire world, according to 9 out of 10 experts. While most of my fellow fauna will tell you the opposite, since they're all madly in love with her, to me, Ziva's nothing more than a headache. Ah, she's one of those girls. I mean, just take a look at her. It's like she's straight out of an RPG with those clothes. But since she's attractive, everyone just turns a blind eye. Never mind, it's not important. If I had to describe her, I'd say she's a wannabe psychologist with a touch of insidiousness and deceit, which has also been determined to ruin my life since the very first moment we met earlier this year. Her dream was to go to college and focus on the studies of the human mind, and what better practice than experimenting with mine first? Somehow she found out about my habit of scribbling in my notebook, which she described as interesting, and hasn't stopped bugging me since. She decided I'd be her test subject. Not a week goes by where she doesn't try to psychoanalyze me or fish my paper scraps out of the trash can and read them. Even worse, sometimes she tries to steal my notebook so she can discover its secrets. At least now she calls me by my surname. Before that, I was just patient to her. The only thing that needs to be treated is your head, Ziva. Well, what were you going to say before you attacked me?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I snuck into the teacher's lounge and gave them my biggest, saddest puppy dog eyes so I could pacify them and blah, blah, blah. They only gave me the usual speech and sent me away. Aren't I lucky?
Well, that should have been expected. It wasn't that bad. I guess I won't be scolded again this time either.
Huh? I wasn't talking about you guys. Just me.
Then what part of that exactly do you call good news?
I thought you'd be happy for me, Endin. I didn't expect you to react so selfishly.
Come on, they can't be that hard on us. If they let Ziva get away with it, then our fate will probably be the same. We've done worse things day after day and nothing has ever happened, right? Yeah, but this time it was all the master plan of this lady right here, who also insisted on participating in one of our operations with us. And she doesn't even care what happens to her comrades now. Seriously? That explains why Ziva would participate with us in all of this, but...
It was you who owed me one, Endin, so stop complaining. Plus, I was just messing with you. I wouldn't really hang you out to dry. You don't have to worry about anything. The substitute is angry, but the rest of the staff didn't really take it seriously. The only thing you've got to do now is apologize to her and shed some crocodile tears to show how very sorry you are and you're finished. See how easy it is? I can't believe you don't trust me, Endin. You have such little faith in me.
Little to none. Anyways, that was the bare minimum you could have done since you were involved, so stop grumbling.
I did help you though, so I want a favor in return. Can you come with me to...
Request denied. No favors.
Jeez.
Come on, what's with the long faces? Remember how in less than a month finals begin? Less fighting and more having a good time so we can leave this place with a good impression, okay? By the way, Ziva, what kind of favor did he owe you, if you don't mind my asking? I think this is the first time I've heard of Sheer owing anyone a favor without a bet somehow being involved. Hell, not too long ago, he wouldn't do anything unless there was a bet involved.
Oh, it was nothing. I just asked my uncle if he knew about a certain package since he works at the post office. Speaking of which, you never did tell me what that was all about. You told me you'd explain it another time.
I fold my arms in and raise an eyebrow, resigning myself to answer despite my clear lack of interest. It's kind of a bad anecdote, but I guess we have the time anyways. Both Asti and Ziva look at me expectantly. Their interest can't be more apparent. I initially resist, but end up yielding to the pressure. Alright, I'll tell you everything, but I'm warning you, it's just a depressing love story.
A love story?
You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell the entire world, you know. I wasn't aware that my young and pure Sheeran had already become a man. It must have been due to my benevolent influence. Tell me, what kind of person is willing to put up with your eccentricity, compañero mío? Hey, I always have to put up with you and I don't complain. Quit joking around. But you complain every single day.
Could you please stop beating around the bush?
Okay, straight to the point. I get it. Well, guys, I think this is a good point to end this episode off. If you liked this episode of 1000 Lies, leave a like down below and a comment down below. Subscribe down below if you haven't. Share this video. Bye bye.